Crowd filing in. Roger Federer, the best in the world, #1, defending his 2-time title against Andy Roddick. They've met 13 times, and it's been almost all Federer, 12-1, as he seeks his 10th major championship. And Mary Carrillo, it just comes down to one of these days and nights. We're going to be sitting in a tennis arena, and someone is going to defeat Roger Federer in a major title.
Are you sure?
Well, maybe not. Come to think of it, will it ever happen?
The question is no. Roger's dominance is so magnificent and so consistently magnificent. I think the question is no longer can anyone beat Roger Federer. I think the question now becomes, can Roger Federer will Roger Federer allow anybody to beat him? That is how tough he's become.
Some of the fans of Andy Roddick said, it was only an exhibition in Kooyong here in Melbourne prior to the Australian Open, but Roddick did beat him. It didn't count, but he beat him in 3 sets. And that's almost a bad thing because Federer doesn't like that. Even though it didn't count, it gives him something to help raise his game even higher. And how high can he go?
He could just keep going. But honestly, I think, Andy Roddick is playing so much better than he was playing a year ago. Under Coach Jimmy Connors, he has so much more focus, so much more direction. He's so much more sure of what he's trying to do. And the fact that Jimmy Connors just lost his mom, who was his coach, and meant so much to him, and he still decided to come all the way down here. Andy never asked him to. Andy didn't ask him to come down. He just kept saying, do what you have to do. He made his way down here, and I think that's giving Andy even more reason to try his very hardest tonight in the semis. It feels like a final, though.
It sure does. And Connor's influence on the changes, subtle as they may be in Roddick's game, have been important and successful. Well, there are highlight reels, and then there are Roger Federer's success reels as we prepare for this semifinal match. Look in on these two great players. Performance so bright today, even in defeat.
Absolutely dominant, taking out Hewitt and Roddick in straight sets.
His 5th Grand Slam title, 3 in a row at Wimbledon.
It's been a tough couple days for the American. Roddick, it's a tough pill for him.
The Fed Express on track again. Sampras, Becker, McEnroe, Borg, and Federer. Age 24, Roger Federer has 4 consecutive Wimbledon titles, 8 Grand Slam trophies now.
We love rivalries. Looking forward to coming back and being here again, surely.
Yeah, it's a great one. I might win one time.
With Roddick, is he a real rival to you?
Yeah, we've had some really close matches. Look, if I wouldn't have been there, maybe, look at the success he would have had, in Wimbledon especially, and maybe at the US Open now as well.
You can dance around that as much as possible, but at a certain point, you just kind of have to realize that the road to a Grand Slam title is probably going to run through Roger.
In Wimbledon, we had some great matches. He's had some great Wimbledon results, and unfortunately, he's always had a great day when I played him every time. It looks like he's playing well, and he's changed a few things, just maybe more solid from the base, a bit more confidence, I think, in general, Just having Jimmy in his ear telling him, what a great player he is, and, it's true. So finally he's gotten back his A game, and that's what I've kind of been looking for the last year or so.
At this point, I feel like I'm one of the top players. I think my main concern at this point in my career is making runs in slams and giving myself a chance in slams.
Even though I have a great record against him, I never underestimate Andy because he's such a great player.
I feel like I'm playing well, and I feel like I'm improving. I've had a little bit more success against him lately. I'm just more confident. Physically, I feel good. Mentally, I feel good. So I look forward to the challenge.
And that is almost an understatement, the challenge, as Andy Roddick out first, greeted here at Rod Laver Arena. He is 1-12 head-to-head against Federer, and that win 4 years ago in Montreal. And here comes the man who's not just chasing history, he's already part of the great history of the sport of tennis. Looking for his 10th major, pursuing Pete Sampras's 14 Grand Slam titles, the record. Roger Federer. Is there another Australian Open title in his bag?
NBA Friday. Wizards Pistons, 7 Eastern on ESPN.
You see a complex shipping industry. At Franklin Templeton, we saw a chance to invest in a logistics company whose technology streamlines shipping operations. A smart move for our fund shareholders. Perspective like this has made Franklin a leading equity manager. Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. Ask your advisor for a prospectus with investment goals, risks, fees, expenses, and other information to read and consider carefully before investing.
Okay, me in a nutshell. I am single, sassy, and spicy. Caliente!
Tired of bad dates? At eHarmony, we'll connect you with singles pre-screened for compatibility with you. Log on for your free personality profile.
Ordinary toothbrushes can't stand up to it. Oral-B Triumph. Triumph's onboard computer and floss action brush head help give you cleaner teeth and healthier gums by your next checkup. Oral-B Triumph.
Gravity will propel this Lexus IS over 4,000 feet in a matter of seconds. This Lexus IS will attempt to cover the same distance even faster. The 306 horsepower Lexus IS 350. So much for gravity. Attractive leases available on all 2007 IS models for a limited time at your Lexus dealer.
ESPN's presentation of the Australian Open, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Gain from our perspective. And eHarmony.com. Are you ready to fall in love?
And so the semifinalists begin their warm-up. And a reminder of Federer's greatness and dominance in Grand Slam play. In the last 47 matches, Roger Federer is 46-1. That one loss here a couple of years ago to Marat Safin in this round, the semifinals. You know, we all gush so much honey is poured with adjectives on his tennis prowess that he claims he doesn't even, when he watches himself on television, he turns down the sound. He doesn't want to hear any of that. He wants to be better.
Well, that perhaps says more about us than about Roger.
It's almost casual about his enormous talent, and there's his record last year, 92-5 with 12 titles. That was 7 more than the men who were in second place in capturing tour events. His Aussie record 34-5, but there are some losses back when he was barely out of his teenage years. Both men, this is their first event of the season, and of course then are 5-0 coming in. Well, how about Andy Roddick? He is playing better, but not left-handed.
I guess he's trying to show how loose he is, how relaxed he is. That's quite a sign, but he's very good at that. In practice, you often see him finishing off his practice hitting lefty, and of course he needs that left arm. That has been such a big improvement in his game, his two-handed backhand. Signature shot of Jimmy Connors, his coach.
He's equaled his best effort here in Australia, his third semifinal. We noticed that Coach Connors has just arrived. We saw him walk down the aisle. He's just taken his seat. Interesting, he had the towel over his left shoulder, almost as if he was the matador going out into the arena himself. Now 54. He won here in 1974. Prior to their entrance into this beautiful tennis arena, Roddick and Federer paused for their pre-match comments.
Andy, quarterfinal against Marty Fish was just about perfect. You look fantastic.
Yeah, I felt good. You know, I'm in another performance like that tonight, and you know, I'm just as excited as anybody about this matchup. So should be a good one.
Good on you. Have a great match. Roger Federer on his way through now, our #1 seed. Roger, Grand Slam semi-finals. I guess this is what all the hard work and training's about.
Yeah, I mean, you hope you're going to play well on an occasion like this. always enjoy playing against Andy. He's a great guy, so hope we can, get a good match for the great match. Thanks.
Federer, remember last early fall in the United States Open as he won his third consecutive Open title. Had Tiger Woods there as a spectator in his box to root for him, and so many comparisons between those two stars, individual sports, tennis and golf, and so dominant. 46-1, there it is. Only lost to Nadal in the 2006 French Open final last year. And then you go back to his loss here prior to the 46-1 to Murat Safin's victory in the semifinals. And, Roddick's made it clear it really isn't a rivalry yet until he starts beating Federer.
It's a gracious thing to say, Dick, but I do feel that Roger knows how much Roddick's game has picked up. It's picked up especially with the Andy Roddick serve, and that is his best and only chance is to serve consistently well for 3 sets.
In their head-to-head, in their 13 matches, Federer has been broken by Roddick 14 times, barely more than 1 per match, while Roddick has been broken by Federer 40 times. And, of course, the results reflect that. Lots of hope for Roddick. I feel he's playing better in this championship than we've seen him in a major, even better than at Wimbledon last year. Let's see if he can carry it on to the world's best. Roddick, well, he's already won something tonight, the toss, and he'll serve to open the semifinals.
Ready? Play.
Pascal Maria says play, French umpire. The Rocket himself, Rod Laver, the 2-time Grand Slam champion, 11 singles titles.
How beautiful is it when this man, Roger Federer, took the trophy last year from his idol and got so emotional. It had been a rough time for Roger. I mean, he had to scramble a little bit to win this title again last year, and he just let it all show, all that emotion flow when Laver handed him the trophy.
I mean, how powerful a moment is that? Here you're playing in Rod Laver Arena, and here's the greatest, arguably, player in the world, Rod Laver, certainly in his time, and then he's the one who hands you the trophy. First extended rally, and Federer with the point.
Andy Roddick is not a great mover, especially when you compare him to Roger Federer. So he doesn't want those long rallies at all, especially not on his serve. He wants to extend the rallies on Federer's serve if he can.
Yeah. 5 points into the match. Federer with a break point.
34.
His return of service ability is often overlooked, but that reflects on how few times he is broken, but how many times he breaks the opponent. He diffuses the big serve.
There's a break already. Wow. Exactly what Andy Roddick did not need.
First game.
And let's go back to last year. Federer completes the Australian Open Championship, shakes Laver's hand, and then the tears began to flow. And some might say weakness. No, that's just another strength that he does feel so deeply about his profession. And I had a wonderful moment with Rod Laver at the Davis Cup out in La Jolla, California. Had a chance to sit next to him, Mary, and he said, you know, the same thing happened to me when Don Budge gave me the trophy. The red hit, the red hit.
Well, so far, Roger has taken some pretty good players and make them look like pretty good players who never had a chance.
Not surrendering a single set. And it's rare if that happens throughout an entire Grand Slam event. And if anyone could do it, it's Federer. He's gone through some recent majors with only one loss of set. And here he is rolling out to a 40-love lead behind the first game break of Roddick serve. And the last to win a slam without a loss of a set, you have to go back 27 years. Bjorn Borg at the 80 French Open. Just underline, he has 4 Wimbledon titles, the last 4, the last 3 U.S., 2 times the Australian champion, the only major not in his grasp, French Open. Lost in the finals to Rafael Nadal last summer in Paris, and he holds for 2 love.
Andy Roddick had to beat Marat Safin, who won this title 2 years ago, beating both Roddick and Federer. And then he played Mario Andrić, and that was a magnificent-looking match. A very easy time of it against one of his best buddies, Marty Fish, in the last round. Now, if Andy Roddick can do that for a couple hundred points, he might have a chance. That is exactly the 1-2 play he wants. A good serve that allows him to use his best weapon, his forehand.
Into the Federer backhand. Not that that's any weakness, but produces another good result. Tony Roach, great Aussie left-hander, won a handful of doubles titles down here. He shows up at the majors in support of Federer.
Roger's family is here as well. His parents and his sister. Jim Courier, who's working for Channel 7 TV. That's his dad right behind Coach Roach. Jim Courier asked him the other night, you know, so when you enter these tournaments, do you book when do you book your flights? You know, do you always book them for the next Monday? And he said, well, you know, just, you know him, very modestly. And he said, well, what about your parents, you know? How long are they staying? And he just smiled and said, well, they're going to New Zealand on Monday. So I guess that answers our question. That's his mom. Very good athlete. He gets his athleticism, he says, from his mom. And that's his dad?
Mom Lynette, South African, and his father Swiss, Robert. And the hold for Roddick. Oh, did he need that? 2-1, Federer with an early lead.
Got a Jeep? Got a truck? Yatta Hay can fix it up. We have lift kits. We have hitches. Come and let us fix your glitches. Yatta Hay can fix it up. From engine swaps to customizing, from spraying liners to accessorizing, Yatta Hay can fix it up. From toolboxes to bumpers, from grill guards to bed covers, Yatta Hay can fix it up. Or you can use your imagination and let us do your fabrication. Yatta Hay can fix it up. Got a ding? Got some hail? Our on-site debt doctor can make it well. 972-434-2250.
Oh, hi, Sophie.
Hi, how can I help you?
With what?
Thank you for calling. Come on, let's go. Picking up the kids today? It's scheduled for this afternoon.
Would you like to buy some cookies?
Oh, yes, I'll be happy to assist you with that. Could you verify your mother's maiden name?
Time Warner Cable. We're passionate about customer service 24 hours a day.
The end of a brilliant summer January day here in Australia.
Thank you.
And as you can see, the roof is open. Temperatures were around 70. Nice sunshine, but a little cool edge to the air. Perfect for the athletes and fans, and Federer with a 2-1 lead for set. Waiting for spectators to settle. Rod making the trip over yesterday, the long flight from California, where he resides in Carlsbad.
I think Federer's alert to the fact that he's going to be seeing a lot of backhands.
Well, how quick did he get to this one? And that magnificent stroke where he just locks his eyes on the ball and doesn't leave it to the balls over the net before he looks up.
That's it. This is a beautiful combination from Federer. We just saw a beautiful backhand. The forehand, he does the same thing. Keeps his body so silent on top. You know, nice quiet head, smooth balance.
It was interesting watching his earlier matches, Mary Carrillo, that at times a little testy when he's not perfect and makes a couple of errors. It really grinds on him. And a couple of errors to 30 all.
That's you.
And in his earlier years, in his teens, he had a temper like most kids and would break rackets and storm off the court. Well, he's pulled all that energy inside and made it positive.
Well, just when Roddick could have used something to attack, Federer finds the deepest reach of that wide box. This could, right here, that's just what Jimmy's saying. Look, how many times in a match are you going to have Roger Federer making these kind of unforced errors? He went for that same serve that worked so well for him the last time on this side.
Oh, another miss and a break point for Roddick. Well, this is totally out of character for the world's best. Rash of errors.
On the last match that Federer played on this court, last round, there were 10 breaks of serve, including from him, and he said it was windy down there.
And Roddick's approach produces another error. He's back even, 2 all. Now there's the play inspired by Connors. That he came in hard and aggressively on the approach. As you look at the consecutive weeks at number 1, James Scott Connors, 160 straight weeks. He was best in the world. Lendl just 3 weeks behind that, and here comes Federer. And he's already assured of passing Connors. He's got so many points to remain number 1 for a good amount of this early 2007.
This could be some of that energy that used to be anger that you're talking about, Dick, but he's trying to break again right away. He's going to challenge that.
Challenging the call on the right center service line. The ball was called out.
Roddick saw it as good. You're allowed 2 incorrect challenges per set. It was out. Good call by the lines person. Second serve, love 15.
Left. Second service.
Not a bad approach. Small window. Federer opens it.
One challenge running.
It really wasn't a bad approach. Federer drawing him in. Again, it didn't get it quite far enough away from him. See, that's why I think Roddick's only chance tonight. I mean, for Roddick to beat Federer, and you can see already Federer made those unforced errors in that last game, and that's why we're back on serve. It'll take 2 players for Roddick to beat Federer. Roddick playing great and Federer down a level. For Federer to beat Roddick, it'll only take 1 player.
That's a good sign. Roddick's best shot, and he's pinned it in that deep corner.
See how beautifully he moved. He's looking for his forehand. He's looking to use it. And that was a short, wide ball that I don't think Federer was anticipating.
So from love 30 to game point Roddick.
This is the kind of tennis that Roddick used at the 2004 Wimbledon final that got him closer to beating Roger in a major than any other time. He served absolutely beautifully, and he used his forehand so well.
Well, that's important. He consolidates the break back on serve opening set.
Hey, these guys joined my team and lost weight. Mike Golick, 51 pounds. Sean Salisbury, 35 pounds. Scott Conover, 100 pounds.
Hey, Marino, I lost 32 pounds.
Get real results with Nutrisystem for Men.
You know, my wife told me I'm not as disgusting to her as I used to be.
Call or go online now to get 4 weeks of awesome food. Plus, through this special offer, you'll also get an extra week of hearty meals free.
Burgers, pizzas, lasagna, pot roast. Eat like a man and still lose weight.
Our secret is the breakthrough science of the glycemic advantage that separates good carbs from bad. Now carbs are no longer off limits.
Nutrisystem worked for me. Trust me, it'll work for you.
About $10 a day gets you 4 full weeks of rib-sticking meals.
Pick up the phone and lose weight.
Order our 4-week men's program and get an extra 7 breakfasts, lunches, dinners, and desserts. A full week of food and a $70 value absolutely free. So call now.
And welcome back on this Thursday night, the Australian Open 2007, presented by Franklin Templeton Investments. Andy Roddick with a break back after Federer broke his American opponent to open this semifinal match. They're on serve 3-2 along the Yarra River in the heart of Melbourne, Australia.
In that 2004 final, Nick, not only did Roddick serve very, very well for a couple of sets, but he took his chances on Federer's serve. Roddick won that first set in a tiebreak, and at 4-all, 30-all, Federer serving. Federer served. Have another look at this. That's his second. Federer served. Roddick ripped a tremendous forehand deep up the line, and Federer flicked a backhand winner like he was flicking away a mosquito. And that point, he ended up holding serve. He ended up winning that match, and I think that point got in Roddick's head so much he decided he had to change his whole game. He said, I'm going to do everything I can to beat Roger, but he went away from his great strengths, especially his serve. And now he's got it all back again. He's had to shore up with the backhand, and he's playing closer in the court. Now, these are the kinds of things that our buddy Patrick McEnroe, his Davis Cup captain, have been telling him. The great coach Dean Goldfein has been telling him. Jimmy Connors told him those things. And he, boy, did he listen hard. I mean, this is a question. Oh. That goes out, and these are big, big chances for Roger, for Roddick.
That was too easy. Federer just sitting right there for him.
And that's already his 7th error.
That is a rare miss.
7 errors, and we're not even into 6 games yet.
2-3, 30 all, and a second serve for Roddick. Joining us down on the court side is Luke Jensen.
Dick, one of the things you already mentioned, talking about the wind in the last match against Robredo, a lot of misses, a lot of misplays from Roger Federer. The same thing happened in the finals of that Young event where Roddick got very windy.
And Roger was just misplaying a lot of shots. We'll see if that continues here.
Is it windy down there right now?
It comes and goes. Okay. It really does. The wind will come in and kind of swirl a little bit and move the ball around.
Federer with a hold of 3 all. In the prime of an already great career, only 25. Year older than Roddick, who has regained the #1 spot American player. With James Blake beaten a couple of rounds ago, Blake came in as the U.S. #1, and now Roddick has regained that position. The other men's semifinal will be played tomorrow. Fernando Gonzalez of Chile and the German Tommy Haas to play for the finals. It looked a little long, didn't it? Shot spot confirms it was.
Oh, beautifully swept through by Roger Federer. He doesn't like the challenge system. He calls it nonsense. So he won't automatically go to it like some of the guys.
And he often challenges on an obvious miss because he feels that the challenge system has taken all the responsibility away from the umpire, making the players call lines. Oh, big miss by Roddick to go to 30 all. Mirka, a longtime friend of Roger Federer, manager of his affairs.
He's coming to the net so much more, Andy Roddick. He knows that he can't hang on the baseline against Roger Federer. He's got to play this kind of tennis, using his great strengths, getting himself up to the net. And Jimmy Connors, again, is so happy that he's thinking very clearly out there. I mean, this is truly a case in Jimmy Connors. It wasn't the message, it was the messenger.
It's wide. They stay on serve. Delighted with his pupil's performance, Jimmy Connor. It's 4-3 on serve, opening set.
I've been to Newark, Hackensack, 3 meetings back-to-back.
Conference in Maine, put faces to names.
Seminar, Lombard, big stack of business cards.
Gate at Comfort Suites, got a hot breakfast free.
Warehouse inventory, Foreman had a funny story.
Big meeting, New Rochelle, told my boss, all went well.
This spring, stay at any Comfort Inn, Comfort Suites, Quality Inn, Sleep Inn, or Clarion Hotel. You'll earn triple choice privileges points or triple airline rewards with your second stay. For reservations, visit choicehotels.com. Choice Hotels. We'll see you there.
After the hour of 8 o'clock, live from Melbourne on a Thursday night, Roger Federer, Andy Roddick battling in the Australian Open semifinals. Federer 3-4. It's long, and Federer, I think, is going to challenge. Yes, he is.
The ball was called out.
Replay this first point of the game. And since he was correct, he still has 2 challenges.
How delighted were you, Dick, not to be sitting next to me when Serena Williams, what was it, her 5th or 6th match point, had run out of challenges?
The ball was clearly out, but no challenge.
Yeah. Serena had to win the match over again.
You mean I don't enjoy you ranting and raving about this?
I'm with Roger. I know we're a tiny minority, but I'm proud to be on Roger Federer's ball club when it comes to these challenges.
Roddick likes the challenge system. Like so many who favor it, it has involved the fans more, and they seem to enjoy the process. And they do get some of the calls right, which are important, but not all.
It's just not fair to the players, which kind of I see as a downside.
The easy hold for Federer.
And what you might not know at home is that when Serena got ripped off on that call, the fans here didn't get to see it. You saw it on TV, you saw the replay, but only an official challenge gets to be replayed by the fans. So they didn't know it was out. They didn't know that Serena had, in fact, won the match at that moment. Because they don't show it.
And a reminder, since you mentioned Serena Williams, winner today in straight sets over Nicole Vidasova. She meets Maria Sharapova in the finals. Friday night, 9:30 Eastern Time, 6:30 Pacific Time for the Women's Championship. Oh, it's a attractive final two. Sharapova, the U.S. Open winner, trying to back that up with a first ever Australian title, and Serena Williams, who's won here twice. And as the number 181 player in the world. Just remarkably surprising everybody. That ace by Roddick, by the way, at 230 kilometers was 143 miles an hour.
That's why the place went crazy. Oh, boy. That wasn't too far behind.
So that one wilted at 135.
Yeah. Yeah. Boy, Roddick is playing the right match, Dick. He's using the right tactics. There's great clarity in what he's trying to do. And Federer has obviously anticipated every one of these moves. What's important for Roddick is to continue to try to get to the net. Put pressure on the Swiss.
4-all, 30-all. 6 of 11, so there's been some success. You just got to have a short memory. You get past, you forget about it.
There he comes again, misses it into the net. So again, hopefully he won't depress easily. It's another break point for Roger. And Roddick has been serving so well. He's just got to keep going and weather this. If he starts to hang back against Federer and his great shot making and foot speed, he'll go away quickly in this match.
Way off on that first serve, and he needs a big serve here now.
And he does it again.
But Federer with the quicker hands at the net owns the break and will serve for the opening set when we return to Australia.
Nice fight. The story goes that he'll be normal during the day, but at night, in the presence of evil, the rider takes over.
So tonight you'll...
I believe soon. On February 16th.
We have this rat shopper. Those are flames and stuff. His face was the skull, and it was on fire. It was an edge look, but he totally pulled it off.
Ghost Rider.
You're freaking me out.
Rated PG-13.
We fled a decaying Earth to find a sanctuary. What we found was war. Lost Planet, Extreme Condition. Available now. Blood runs cold. Rated T for teen.
Look at these two young fans. They're outside in the garden area. The one on the left, obviously for Roddick, is that the apple of her eye that she's got under the right eye? And won't get within 200 meters of anyone that even looks like Andy Roddick, but they feel part of this whole experience, and that's one of the many charms of the Australian Open. And tomorrow will be a big day here in the country. It's Australian Day, I guess the closest thing to our 4th of July or Independence Day, big holiday, summer holiday. And for Roger Federer, Almost every major he attends seems to be his own personal holiday. And now with a breakup, 3 points from the set.
That's it.
And quickly to 3 set points. And if he converts here, it'll be 18-2 in sets against Roddick in the last 20. And he punctuates it with an ace down the middle. Federer with the opening set 6-4. Andy Roddick played well enough, but Roddick with a final reply. Roddick has reflected on his 2006 tennis season and the influence of Jimmy Connors. And America's best and last takes the long walk prematurely.
I can definitely forget about the first 6 months of last year.
No place to hide now for Roddick.
After the French Open, I had been kind of looking for someone to work with. I had a list of names, and Connors is the one who kind of really jumped off the page. You know, we went in, and I knew he could help me between the lines, but in order for kind of a player-coach relationship to work, you're going to have to get along off the court as well. And you know, luckily for us, we kind of clicked. They kind of turned things around really quickly last year. Not just result-wise, but the way I've been playing. They kind of come through and play well in Cincinnati and win a Masters Series title and final at the U.S. Open. It kind of saved my year. I hadn't really played well in the Grand Slams, and it was a nice way to kind of end the Grand Slam season.
You know, I had some rough records against Hewitt and Agassi and other players, and all of a sudden I was able to turn them around, you know, and I believed in me more, and that can change the whole momentum. All of a sudden he can turn it around, and we'll be sitting here again in 5 years' time, and he's beaten me 12 times in a row.
Oh, wow. What a passing shot there. The resurrection in Roddick's game.
And he's become a much improved player, Andy Roddick.
You know, this is about as excited as I've been to play, and about as optimistic as I've been in a couple of years.
There it is. Andy Roddick is in the last 4 of this major championship.
People were throwing around that word comeback a lot last year, and you know, maybe not a comeback, but maybe just a new chapter.
No question the influence of Jimmy Connors and the results that were produced by this partnership, and Connors fighting in his camp for Roddick, who wins the first point of the second set and comes back with an ace. There's the record without Connors last year, and then when he joined him after Wimbledon, 28-8, and a title. That was at Cincinnati on the hard court. Well, fans watching this match might say, well, now Roddick hadn't come up to the net. That's where he lost. He was broken late, and that's how Federer took the set. But, you know, that's not the case, and he's got to keep coming forward.
It's what I call the Federer effect. I mean, guys now who are being well coached, like him, like Andy Murray to Brad Gilbert, like Fernando Gonzalez with Larry Stefanki. They are basically telling their guys, look, you cannot stay back against this guy. You just can't. You have to come in. You have to take advantage. If you don't, Roger will. I mean, this guy will bring back the all-court game in men's tennis, and I like him for that as much as for anything else. We will see more men at the net. We will see them develop their volley skills. We'll see them use an all-court game. Because they have to.
Watch out here. Down a set. Here's a quick break point. And the other aspect is as men improve with their aggressive serve and volley game, and if Federer thinks it's going to beat him, what's he going to do?
Yeah, because he doesn't serve and volley much. Because he really doesn't have to take that risk.
But he can do it. We've seen that when he's had to come up with a pressure point. And Roddick does not. Wild on the forehand, and this is such a pattern against Roger Federer. He gets that early set and then a quick break in the second. The year after Jimmy Connors won here, he was in the finals against John Newcomb on the grass, Kooyong in Melbourne. And the popular Nuke, the Aussie, leaps the net in victory over Connors. And then Jimmy, first person that he contacted, there's Mother Gloria, the tremendous influence in his life, and monitored his progress as a young boy and coached him and encouraged him. And she passed away a couple of weeks ago, and with a heavy heart, Connors felt the best thing he could do is come over. He brought his son with him and to be with Roddick, to forget about the sadness of the loss of his mother, and trying to reverse that energy and help Roddick to the success he's enjoyed, to the semifinals. His son Brett is there in the box cheering him on as well.
That's it.
And 6 straight points for Federer here after Roddick started 30 love to open the set.
Oh, that's crazy good. It's crazy good. See, at times Roddick has served so well that at times he has. But you have to serve consistently well against Federer. Because if you don't, he'll get you. He's had 3 break points, this guy. He's made all 3.
And that last backhand, flicking it almost a half volley from the baseline. How many players can make that shot? Challenge announced by Pascal Maria. And it goes to Federer. A love game, 2 love. It's almost as if between points you can just feel him thinking about, now what can I do next?
Oh no! Oh my! That's what he did at Wimbledon. That's 2004 revisited. he kind of apologized.
Genius.
But yeah, he actually owns that shot.
Come on, Roger, at least give us a little smile here. Let's go back to that magnificent shot. Tony Roach has seen a lot of plays, and that says a lot. He's a quiet man, but that's got looking around saying, Am I in the right corner?
There's that second serve that when the only time Roddick has ever beaten Roger Federer, he was effective on his second serve 65% of the time.
And Federer was under 50%.
Today it's 25% of the time.
Another brilliant backhand. How does he strike the ball so cleanly on the run, seemingly out of position? Boom. That was more orthodox than the other 2 that he's pulled off in this game. But what a display. Just stand up and applaud. What can you do? Yeah, what can I do?
See what's new on Time Warner Digital Cable Free on Demand. Introducing the GM Showroom, where you can find out about your favorite GM models in the comfort of your living room. Learn about the newest features and latest models from Chevrolet, Cadillac, Saturn, Buick, GMC, Pontiac, Saab, and Hummer. Looking for your next car has never been so easy.
Watch Driver TV now on Free On Demand. Time Warner Cable, the power of you.
It all comes down to Judgment Day. And on that day, they will find that there can only be one 10. The 2007 Miss America pageant, this January, only on CMT. It's on.
Now look at the faces and how many of them are young, and that's out in the garden party, Garden Square, as they watch the big screen television, and how this sport in this country, of course, has always been one of the most popular, but how the young people have continued to take to tennis, and they accommodate that feeling here of this party atmosphere. Throwing a party of his own as the man on the service line. Those 4 winners in the last game. Just put it in a time capsule just in case someone should ever forget about 2007 and the man who is #1 in the world. How discouraging is that for Andy Roddick? He's not playing poorly.
He's just playing Federer.
And there are moments when he reduces himself to a real human level, as he did when Roddick broke him in the 4th game of that opening set to get back on serve. His 23rd winner against 8 unforced errors.
And if Roddick is going to continue to play these tactics, he's going to have to learn how to stick those volleys better. Can't carve under them like that against a man as swift as Federer.
You're going to wear out that banner watching Federer. Playing defense now. Until.
Yeah, he did it just to show he could. And then he decided to take over the rally once more. These fans are, listen to, there's a buzz, like, they can't quite believe what they're watching. There is such magnificence and fluency from everywhere on the court.
It's that reaction after a great symphony plays a wonderful piece, and now the crowd applauds politely, and then they talk about it. Wasn't that terrific? I mean, if it were any other player, they'd be standing and screaming at the product that they're watching.
Well, and he has so many instruments.
That's right. He is the orchestra. For love.
Now, he's making sounds that they have never heard before.
And a look at the final 4. Number 12 seed Tommy Haas, number 10 Fernando Gonzalez, and he's created a buzz here as well. Gonzalez, the Chilean, he's put together 3 magnificent performances to get to his first semi here down under. And many feel that he has at least the big weapons that could challenge Federer, but he's got to get through Haas. And here's Roddick, who has lost his serve the last 3 times.
you can shut down Roddick to the point where he hasn't hit a winner yet in this set. That's just one more statement. And again, the footwork, he moves so beautifully that even when Roddick hits deep, heavy shots, Roger just skips over the court and gets there in plenty of time for his own winner. Look at that, he's out of frame. He's out of our frame, and all of a sudden he's right there, and there's nothing defensive about it.
9 straight points he's taken off Roddick's serve since he broke him to open this set. Finally, Roddick with a point on his serve.
So many players, they know they're out of their league against Federer, so they just sort of redline it. They just bury the needle. That's not going to do it against Roger. You have to have tactics. You have to have real thought about what you want to do.
But he diffuses everything, and then he detonates his own great game.
But if you're playing, if you're just going for broke, which some people say you have to do against Roger, you're playing at a level that you don't really own, and he's operating and handling it way below his own red line. It doesn't make sense. And that's what Roddick has to, he's got to regroup here a little bit and keep believing and finding refuge in smart tactics.
And that's going to be important in this match.
It really
will.
will.
If it continues all the way through 3 sets and Federer dominates, what's that going to do to all the good things that Roddick has built up under Connors? He needs some good things to happen here in this match, whether he wins a set or not.
So that's too bad, because he is trying to hang on to that tactic, and he's just not doing it well enough now. Yeah, you hear him cursing to himself.
2 more break points for Federer on his way to a shutout set.
And this is why Roddick says, you know, are we really calling this a rivalry?
Look at Roddick. He throws his racket. He finally reaches the boiling point.
He didn't mean to throw it. He was trying to launch that ball out of the stadium, and his racket slipped out of his hand. I don't think that he meant to throw his racket at all. No, he didn't. But the frustration is all over this match.
What's up, John? Oh, sorry, Stan. I told Stuart I'd save that for him. I'm sorry, I'm actually, no, go ahead.
Thank you.
The great work and great progress, and then it's just smashed in your face the way Federer is doing it to Roddick. 4 straight breaks of his serve, and he was just going to knock this ball out of the park and swung so hard that he lost the grip on the racket. He was going to get a ball abuse, racket abuse warning anyway, and he apologizes. He certainly didn't want the racket to go. Could have hurt someone. Luke?
Yeah, he launched that ball out of the stadium. I mean, I've never seen this before in this stadium. Out of the, I mean, it went over the roof.
And they won't even give him a 6 for it over at the Melbourne Cricket Grounds.
And he's probably a little surprised that Federer didn't get it back.
That's right. Mary, you're cruel. It's about the only one he hasn't gotten back for a winner.
This is going by way too quickly. Way too quickly now for Andy Roddick.
You hurt for Roddick and so many of Federer's opponents. There seems to be so little hope. On the other hand, we're sitting at a time watching such a virtuoso performer that it's just how fortunate to be able to say, well, we saw. You can't describe it because it's indescribable. You have to see it.
Nice hand from the fans here who want to see Roddick make a match of this.
Yeah, they'll cheer anything good from him now. Maybe that display of anger will awaken something that will encourage Roddick as we head toward an obvious third set.
That's what he wants. Roddick wants to work Federer on Federer's serve, and he wants as quick a rally as possible on his own. That's the battle.
And a point now for a love set for Roger Federer. He's one set away from the finals in his relentless pursuit of a 10th major title. Federer, 6-4, 6-love.
Double beef fiesta salsa, so good.
Delicious, huh? These grilled stuffed burritos are only $1.99.
All this flavor for only $1.99? No way.
Like how he told us he's going out on a date with Carmen Electra.
You're just going bowling.
Yeah, right.
Sorry. Hi, Pete. Do you like my dress?
That'll do.
It's true. Taco Bell's big, tasty grilled stuffed burrito with double the beef, 3 cheeses, and grilled to go to get unbelievable taste for an unbelievable price.
How's she going to bowl in that?
Woo! Think outside the bun.
Just Roger at his very best. Have a look. This was that 2-love game where he just, well, just watch it. Just talk amongst yourselves.
Our Lexus between the lines and 4 genius shots from Roger Federer. And he just seems to take it all for granted. He knows he's good. He tries to apologize. He roots for the game and respects his opponents. You can't help it that he's that good, that great. So to the third set. Federer A set away from the finals, and there's the all-time best major titles. Sampras 14, the Aussie Roy Emerson 12, Borg with 11, sharing that with Laver, and Federer trying to join the great American of the 1920s, Big Bill Tilden, with 10. And as Pete Sampras said to us as we look at Laver, who of course lost many other opportunities for major titles because of the amateur to pro situation in the 60s. Sampras said he's going to go right by me and the 14, and he's after Jack, meaning Jack Nicklaus, who has 18 golf majors. Boy, that's a terrific sight, isn't it? He does cry at the enthusiasm for the support of his opponent. Part of the frustration for opponents is that you just can't afford any unforced errors because he doesn't give you many.
Look at that. He didn't challenge that, Andy Roddick, and his shot was good.
And that's just part of being down 2 sets so quickly.
That's don't get me going.
No, I'm not.
I mean, because a break here, he's already down two sets. A break here, and it's over. And he didn't get that first call. He hit the line. He hit it about as good a shot as you can hit. And the machinery was there for it. The technology was there for it. But because he didn't decide to use it because it's so early in this set, he's in real trouble.
Federer.
This is it. To me, if he drops serve here, the match is over.
No mercy from the Swiss end. He's going to beat you up as much as he can. He's playing for himself, in some ways against himself, to be even better.
Whatever he's doing, he's winning.
Oh, no, can't do that. How did that ball stay in? So he breaks to open the third. I can be a pretty good coach, Tony Roach thinks. We're in Melbourne, Australia, live on a beautiful summer night down under, 8:45 in the evening on Thursday night. 15,000 at Rod Laver Arena in Melbourne Park, Olympic Park, in this great city. And they're watching the brilliance, the genius. You use all the adjectives you want to describe the best player in the world by far, Roger Federer, as he seeks his 10th major title and his third here in Australia. Leads Andy Roddick 6-4, 6-love, and now up a quick break in the third as he has taken Roddick's serve 5 straight times.
Yeah, he watches all the matches, Dick. There's Guillermo Vilas, 2-time winner here. That's when it was back on grass courts at Kooyong, not too far down the road from here. Roger watches, and he reads a lot, and he listens to commentators on TV. He enjoys the tennis so much. Says when he's not playing it, he's pretty much watching it. And he's very complimentary of how hard Andy Roddick has worked, and he knows that Andy has said that lately he really feels like he's been closing the gap. And you just know that one of the first questions Andy's going to be asked about is
how wide or thin is that gap?
Yeah, yeah.
Alarm should go off. 2 double faults now for Federer in the match. Roddick can look up and finally see a bigger number in a game score, 15-30. Not for long. Back to your point, Mary Carrillo, about Federer studying the game and watching the television of this Australian Open. He was remarking on the Nadal-Andy Murray match that he stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning watching that, and complimented, said, I love to watch Nadal. They play so hard every point.
Oh, boy.
How hard Roddick worked. Keep this long rally going, and then Federer seizes the moment. Well, Federer served at 3-4 in the opening set and closed it out 6-4 and a 6-love set. So he's won 11 straight games. He's in the midst of a 34-match win streak, is Federer. Finally, yes.
I think it would take 2 players for Roddick to win this match. Right now, Roger Federer is not the player cooperating.
Roddick had to play at his very best, and he's played, how do we know, close to it. Federer
hasn't gotten to play much.
Federer had to come down below his normal level, and he may be as outstanding as ever. And here's a challenge. It's just going to be wide. Somewhat benign challenge, and Roddick actually finds himself in front. 30-love. Trying to snap this 11-game losing streak. The maestro just seems to be able to place the ball anywhere he wants at any time and make it look so simple and easy, humbling his opponent. Roddick to 40-15, and this crowd will give him a huge roar should he hold, as a beautiful day comes to a close here in Melbourne as we look outside at the skyline of Australia's second largest city. There it is.